What's going on, Dolphin fans? Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and what's coming up here on today's episode? We're going to be breaking down some news and rumors, and the first one that we're going to talk about is going to be around drafting Najee Harris at pick number 18. Then, there was a report out there from Matt Miller that talks about the Dolphins drafting a wide receiver at number 6, and does that actually also mean somebody like a Kyle Pitts? And then to wrap up today's episode, Mel Kiper puts out a lot of content and a lot of mock drafts, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the mock draft that Mel put together for the Dolphins, every single Dolphin fan should be very, very upset about. Now, before I get into today's show, I do want to tell you real quick, seriously, go ahead and subscribe to today's episode and subscribe to the channel because we're pumping out a whole bunch of free videos here around news and rumors. And for everyone that is subscribed, what I want you to do is go above and beyond. I want you to comment underneath this video, maybe some extra ideas of some shows that we can do because, let's face it, we are getting ready to go into the off season and I want to have a lot of fun and creative ideas for y'all. So please go down in the comments. Let me know what type of videos you want to see on this channel. Are the Miami Dolphins drafting Alabama running back Najee Harris at pick number 18? It's the latest here on Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. There's a report out there from Jason Lockenfor that there is strong buzz that Miami could take the bell cow running back and likely to be the first running back off the board. There's no doubt about this. I do know that Brian Flores likes Harris. I also know that basically every single NFL team out there likes Najee Harris a lot. It's just here's the issue. Do you take a running back at number 18? Now, I've seen a lot of articles out there. I've seen a lot of different things put out there because Jason Lockenfor said this. If you look at my bottom note there, you can kind of feel what I have to say about Lockenfor. He makes articles for CBS. He is not a reliable source. So just because he's saying it, that doesn't mean that it's true. Now, I will also go down and say this. Does Najee Harris help this football team? Absolutely. Are the Dolphins interested? Absolutely. But are they going to pull the trigger at 18? That does still remain to be seen. He's my number one running back in this year's class, and I definitely think that he has the skill set to be that true every single down back, which is something that the Dolphins just simply didn't have last year. One of the big concerns is this. He is already 23 years old, and how valuable is the running back position in today's league? But if you want somebody that I think is kind of close to a Derrick Henry, and I don't want to throw out the name Henry because obviously he's one of the best, if not the best running back in the league right now, but if you want the 1B version to him in terms of athletic ability, in terms of overall size and build, and really the ability to impose his will on defenses, especially late in games, that's what you got in Harris. So he had 251 carries last year, 1,466 yards, 26 touchdowns. The reason why I have him as my new number one running back, because coming into the year it was Travis Etienne. The reason why he's bumped up to number one now is not really what he can do between the tackles, because if you watch the tape on him, you knew that he could run between the tackles. It's really his ability that he upgraded and really rose to the occasion and being able to catch the football. And when you first saw him come out of high school, the biggest knock on him was this. All right, he can't catch the football. His first 2 years at Alabama, you're right, he probably wasn't the best receiver. Then his third year, he goes out, has 7 receiving touchdowns, only 27 catches, and then his final season, the 43 catches, the 425 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, anytime you can find a player that has over 60 total touchdowns in 4 years, that's pretty good, right? I definitely think so. But what about his career stats here in 51 games? 638 carries, 3,843 yards, averages 6.0 yards per carry, and 46 touchdowns. Is the Alabama offensive line productive? There's just no doubt about that, right? But my other concern here is this. If you are going to take a running back who is almost 23 years old that has this much wear and tear on his tires, does it make you a little bit nervous? I think it should. Now, here's the Dolphins running back depth chart. Myles Gaskin did a phenomenal job last year, but let's just be real. He is not talented enough to be able to compete with Harris. I know they decided to bring in a guy like Malcolm Brown. Let's face it, though, he's not good enough to compete with Harris. And then Salvin Ahmad. He did a very good job as well, but he is still just a depth running back. When you look at the lowest yards per carry in 2020, one of the biggest reasons why this offense at times really stalled definitely was because of the offensive line. It was definitely because of, Tua having some hiccups as a rookie. But I also think it has a lot to do with the running game. And as you can see, 3.9 yards per carry, which was ranked in the bottom 4 of the National Football League. It also had a lot to do with the fact that they had some guys coming in and out. I mean, this is one of the teams that they had 5 different starting running backs. And if I'm a head coach and I got a young quarterback like Tua, why not be able to pair him up with one of his teammates? And why not be able to put somebody on the field that's literally going to be on the field over 60% of the time? So what do you guys think here? I want you to be honest with me. That's what Chat Sports Programming is all about. If you're watching the video, I want you to go down in the comments. Should Miami draft Najee Harris at pick number 18? If you're like, yes, man, they absolutely should, I want you to type D for draft. Also, yes, man, great movie. Or I want you to go down in the comments and type B for pass. I'm going to kind of go split in the middle here. Normally, I'm team don't draft a running back so early because it's not really the most important position, and you can get other guys later on. However, if you believe that Brian Flores and that this team is going to be able to do the right things, especially on offense, and they need a true bell cow, and you want the number one running back in the draft, you have to take him at 18 because, let's face it, he's not going to be there at pick 36. There's going to be a lot of other teams, like maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers could be interested. I know that I've mocked him personally to the Steelers at pick number 24, but it really comes down to you look at some of these other top running back prospects, and it's not really a super deep draft class in terms of the back position. However, Travis Etienne is a very good running back. Javonte Williams is a very good running back. Kenneth Gainwell, probably not good enough to be an every down back, but still has some talent. And then Michael Carter, a back that I know the Dolphins like because they worked with him at the Senior Bowl. So we're going to go back here to talking about Najee Harris and whether or not you think that he is the running back that the Dolphins should get. Because the other thing that's important about the draft is value, right? Like in life, we all want a good value. Every single person, whether you're going shopping, whether you're looking for a new car, whatever you're doing, you want to be able to leave there and say, you know what, man, I feel like I got a good deal. So now I'm going to ask you this question, because earlier I asked you about drafting Najee Harris. But what about this? What do you think is the best value here? What running back kind of leaves you with that butterfly in the stomach feeling? You're like, you know what, man, I did a good job. Would you take Najee Harris at 18, type NH? Would you go with Travis Etienne at 36? Or would you go with Javonte Williams at 50? I want you to type JW. Either running back that they draft, maybe they draft all three. I'm kidding, but I will say this. I'm going to be looking forward to the day that the Dolphins do make some draft picks and those players, they put on some of these hats here. If you want to wear the hats that you're going to be able to see on draft day, go to chatsports.com/DolphinsDraft. They just released their brand new NFL draft hats, and these things are already going fast. I checked this morning. They're already out of one size. Why? Because they're brand new, and a lot of people want to get their hands on them. Now, you can get the flat bill, you can get the curved brim, so there's really no excuse. You can be that flat bill guy if you want to wear the hat to the back. They have snapbacks as well. Literally, all different kinds of draft hats are available, and for whatever reason, if you can't remember chatsports.com/DolphinsDraft, don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to put the link in the comments and in the description. So if you haven't already, seriously, go ahead and subscribe to today's show. Go ahead and subscribe for even more updates around the Miami Dolphins, because if we get new news or rumors, we're going to break it down. The next story that we're going to get into here is around the Dolphins drafting a wide receiver at pick number 6. So Matt Miller discusses that. He said, hey, my sources are saying that they are leaning towards receiver. But if you really go into it, and if you listen to what Matt Miller says, he says receiver. Anybody out there that has been following the draft process, anybody out there that really has been watching this show consistently has probably understood this, that is Kyle Pitts considered a receiver. He's not a wide receiver. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of a pure pass catcher, in terms of being able to receive the football, I might say Kyle Pitts is the most talented player of the group. So I'm curious to know what Matt Miller said in terms of leaning receiver. He doesn't really have the best sources. He gets things right here and there. I mean, he's basically just shooting his shot, right? I mean, and then we find those shots and we tell you how true or not they are. But how about this, okay? If he is talking about the wide receiver position at pick number 6, here are the top wide receiver prospects. Jamar Chase, Jaylen Waddle, DeVonta Smith. Those are your really only 3 options, I would say, at pick number 6 for the Dolphins. Now, the more and more tape I watch on Jamar Chase, the more and more I start to like him. He is my new number 1 receiver here for Miami. Jaylen Waddle, his athletic ability and overall fit in this offense, I think would be spectacular. But luckily for them, I don't really know if you can go wrong with any 3 of those receivers here. But then we're going to go back to the Kyle Pitts discussion, because if he's talking about receiver, why not potentially go out and get the top guy in terms of being able to catch the football? And sure, is tight end a need? No. But you can never have too many playmakers on the field. And as much as I like Mike Gesicki, Kyle Pitts is much higher upside than Mike Gesicki. So in terms of receivers, the top 4 receivers in this year's draft class are Kyle Pitts, DeVonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, and Ja'Marr Chase. You are on the clock at pick number 6. You got to go receiver. I'm sorry, I'm making the rules up here. You have to go receiver. Are you going to take Kyle Pitts? Type 1. DeVonta Smith? Type 2. Jaylen Waddle? Type 3. Or are you going to go with Ja'Marr Chase? Type 4. The last rumor here on today's show is around Kyle Pitts, and are the Dolphins going to go ahead and trade up for the Florida tight end? And Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, he has Miami trading up from pick number 6 to pick number 4 in exchange with the Atlanta Falcons and taking the tight end. Do I love Kyle Pitts? Yes, absolutely. When I really break down my overall rankings, Pitts is a top 5 player in this year's class. And me calling this a dumb move has literally nothing to do with Kyle Pitts whatsoever. And it has everything to do with Mel Kiper. For Mel Kiper to think that the Dolphins are going to trade from 6 up to 4 for Pitts is idiotic, and it's actually a slap in the face to all Dolphins fans, because really when you think about it, you got to think of the big picture. You can't just look at it as this trade that you guys see over here, because this is the trade that Mel said it would take to go up there. A second-round pick in 2022, and then a third-round pick in 2022. But the biggest reason why the Dolphins traded back from their original spot in 3. Like, this is what you got to think about. They originally started at pick 3. They go back to 12, and then sure, they traded up to 6, but they still wanted to be able to get some extra draft picks. Like, you don't trade back essentially pick 3 to pick 4 to only get like a second-round pick in 2022. It would cost a lot more than that. So for the Dolphins to do this, that means that they are already regretting the trade that they made, and I don't think that they're going to do that. So would you make this trade, yes or no? In terms of just like an overall looking of this trade, I actually don't think it's that bad of a value for Miami. However, this is just kind of a lazy trade on Mel Kiper's job, and for anybody to think otherwise, I think that you're lying to yourself. But hey, let me know. Would you make this trade, yes or no? And yes, as I said, it is dumb to trade up here because it just does not make sense for Brian Flores and the entire organization. You wanted to be able to have some extra draft capital a little bit later on, and I understand you're not really giving up a first-round pick, if we're being real. It might even cost more than that to go up and get the trade, but here's the thing. Kyle Pitts is an absolutely phenomenal player, and I don't want to take anything away from him, but I saw this mock, and it kind of angered me a little bit because I was like, Flores and this organization and this coaching staff has done a phenomenal job. I mean, over the last 3 years, I've said multiple times, they're playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. And then I see this mock draft of the first 2 rounds where Pitts is being taken at number 4. Kwity Paye, who's a good edge rusher, is going at 18. Javonte Williams at 36. And then Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle from Michigan, at pick 50. So what I'm going to ask you guys right now is after seeing this, after seeing the trade go down, what do you guys grade this Mel Kiper mock draft? And I'm curious what you have to say. If you want to see the entire mock, you can go to our main Chat Sports channel, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV, where I also break down the biggest winners and losers of the first and second round. But seriously, let me know. A, it was great. B, it was good. C, it was average. D, it was bad. F, it was a big old fail. Not too often do I give out Ds here, so I wanted to really take advantage of this opportunity and said, I'm giving Mel Kiper's mock draft the D. And if you're giving it the D too, spam D down in the comments. Like, Pitts is a great player, but as I've stated multiple times, I'm not trading up. And then Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye, to me, actually has a pretty high bust potential. And with guys like Jalen Phillips still on the board, I'd much rather have a Jalen Phillips than over Kwity Paye at pick number 18. Then you're taking the third running back off the board. Like, I like Javonte Williams, but I'm not going to take him at pick number 36. Maybe pick 50 is a little bit more peculiar to me. And then also, you got Jalen Mayfield. Jalen Mayfield is a pretty good offensive tackle, but I'm not taking Jalen Mayfield over guys like Samuel Cosmi, Liam Eichenberg. No, I'm not going to do that. So, Mel, I'm giving you the D. It sounds kind of weird, but that's what your mock draft deserves. If you made it this far in the video and you haven't yet, please go ahead and like the video and go ahead and subscribe. Let's get this channel to 14,000 subs.